Good afternoon, Randy. Thanks for joining me. I'm Sally Galley with Bates Homes, and I'm sitting here with Randy Cox, CEO and Executive Director of Klamath County Economic Development Association. Thanks for making some time today to talk.
Absolutely, Sally. It's my pleasure. Thanks so much for giving me the opportunity to talk about Klamath Falls. It's a very exciting time to be living in the Klamath County area.
We're excited as well. And as I was kind of explaining, we have construction underway and we're getting ready to start our sales program. So we're very excited to be a part of the Klamath Falls community.
Excellent. We're happy to have you.
Thanks. I have a couple questions for today. So I'm going to just jump right in. One of the questions, looking ahead 5 years, what will be the key focus areas for economic growth in Klamath Falls?
Well, certainly our economic growth in Klamath will be fundamentally founded on green energy. We have a number of green energy projects in our area being developed as we speak. Due to our elevation, our climate, and our 300 plus days of sunshine per year. But today, medical, agricultural, military, and timber industry are the foundation for our current GDP for Klamath County.
Oh, excellent. And with new companies entering the area, what kind of job growth are you expecting within the next few years?
We're expecting that growth to range between 250 and 500 jobs on a yearly basis. Last year, we created 269 jobs. This year, we're projecting 302 jobs for the fiscal year of 24-25.
You mentioned a number of industries. Are there specific industries you're seeing more growth coming from?
I think right now, advanced manufacturing has been the current, and then service retail has been very strong as we're due to open or cut a ribbon, have a ribbon cutting on Friday for Chipotle coming to town. Amazon's building their last mile will be complete by the end of this year. And then we have Winco Groceries coming to town, building an 86,000 square foot grocery facility. So we're going to see a lot of service industries or retail industries supporting the growth of advanced manufacturing and some of the green technology projects that we have coming into Klamath.
Excellent. Where do you expect these new companies who are coming into the area to find their employees?
Well, we're really blessed. We have a saying here, choose Klamath, it's just better here. But we also have a saying that we develop talent in Klamath County. We have the number one polytechnical school in the West Coast called Oregon Tech University, putting out very talented personnel. And we are supported, and we're supported by a community college that's really second to none called Klamath Community College. Both of these institutions provide great opportunity for employers to hire employees that are educated and trained here locally. We also continue to see that under 45 age group re-migrating to Klamath County. And most of these migrations if you're 44 and younger, you're coming from within the state of Oregon and migrating to Klamath County. Additionally, if you're 45 and older, you're coming to Klamath Falls from out of state. And what's exciting about that is we're really talking about our workforce for the next 3 decades coming back to Klamath and reinforcing our population. Our population has already exceeded the projections for 2020, 2030 from Portland State University. Those numbers have already been exceeded here in 2024.
The over 45 group that you're mentioning, are those people who are working in Klamath or retirees just looking to move to somewhere better? What are you seeing more there?
Yeah, I think, what we're seeing, that's a mixed bag. I think if you're 45 to that 65, you're still working employees here in our community, but 60 and older are really that retirement community that continues to grow. There's several reasons why that retirement community continues to grow in Klamath. One is our cost of living. We have a very attractive, favorable cost of living as compared to other communities around the West Coast. Second is our quality of life. We do have 330 days of sunshine plus a year. It's sort of nice to be in this climate. And then we have a unique situation where per capita, we have 20% more medical staff living in Klamath County than the state of Oregon does. We have 4 times more medical staff than most rural communities do in the state of Oregon. So our medical services are second to none. It still has that sense of community. It's a size where you can still fit in. One person can make a difference. And I think these retirees that are moving into Klamath are seeing that their money goes a lot farther, but they can also be part of the community very quickly.
I'm going to move a little bit to the housing portion of our conversation here. One of the questions was, what are the city and county doing to address the housing demand and ensure there's sufficient infrastructure for new residents? So kind of comment on that, and then maybe take us back a little bit to your experience in the housing supply, the current housing supply or past housing supply.
Well, in 2019, we had a housing summit after there was a housing need analysis done here in Klamath Falls. We found very shortly after we were reviewing the housing needs analysis that the information was completely inaccurate. We were probably 200 houses behind at that point in time. And so about 12 leaders throughout our community decided to get together and say, let's see what we can do to move the needle on the housing starts. Once we did that, it's really nice to see from that initial meeting in 2019, we actually developed a private equity group that's built spec homes in Klamath Falls because we wanted to make sure that we're increasing our housing stock for the growth in employment and population. As soon as we did that, the county got involved with supporting that and reduce housing permit costs. The city continued to look at their guidelines for lot sizes and will continue to do that moving forward. They're continuing to look at that. But there's been a lot of work done to accelerate housing across the entire region. And part of that is really helping us augment our 47-year-old housing stock. We have a very aged housing stock, and truly we're only building about 150 houses a year where we need to be building about 290 houses on a yearly basis. So we continue to fall behind on a yearly basis. Fortunately, we have partners with Klamath Community College that just built and opened an apprenticeship center last year, helping us train and develop the traded sector. And we have both the city and county supporting new housing developments throughout our community.
Great. Do you have any specific growth or housing development indicators that you're using?
We have in-house indicators. We always look at job creation as compared to housing or door permits. So this could be multi-housing, it could be duplexes, it could be single-family houses. We focus mostly on single-family houses, but the calculation that we run is how many doors do we create per job creation. And so what we're finding in Klamath Falls is we need, for every 2.85 jobs created, we need a door. And that's interesting. If we compare that to the national average, it's every 3.95 jobs created, you need a door. That sort of gives you the rough estimate on how many houses we're behind. If you run the calculations, we're expecting we're about 400 houses behind today. As I said earlier, we were 200 in 2019. So we haven't kept up with the pace for those 5 years, and we continue to fall behind on that pace. So we're looking at about 2 for every 2.85 jobs created. And if we go back to, we think we're going to create between 250 and 300 jobs on a yearly basis. That sort of gives you a good idea just in regards to direct jobs, what would be needed. And like you said earlier, we do spin off 2 to 3 jobs for every direct job that we start here on indirect employees. So we figure about 400 houses behind. We need to be building about 290 houses on a yearly basis.
Okay, that makes sense. What are some of the challenges you foresee in reaching those growth targets?
It's really mentoring and training and developing contractors within the region. I think we are making great strides in that area. As I mentioned, the Klamath Community College that we have here, putting the apprenticeship building in. And we have the lots, and we're looking at ways of developing more lots, increasing the densification of building within the region. I don't think we have very many challenges. I really think our challenges really are building the houses. That'll be the one thing, we're managing right now 52 projects across our deck. We use a toll gate system all the way from ideation to commercialization. Those 52 projects represent about $4.4 billion worth of investment into our community and about 1,400 jobs. And so when we're managing this deck, we're watching it and revising it on a monthly basis. But that's the type of growth that we're expecting. And the only thing that would limit that growth is housing. We have companies right now that are looking to recruit high wage jobs. I'm talking about mental health jobs, medical field jobs, military jobs, that we had one group offer 7 jobs to 7 different people, and 6 of the 7 couldn't find a place to live. And the only reason they're not living here is because we lack houses. Our rental capacity is less than 2% vacancy rate. And so we don't even have that temporary house where they can come in for a 6-month period until they can build their house and or buy a house. So housing will be the only thing that limits in regards to our economic growth that we're projecting in our 5-year strategic plan.
Okay. How do you balance economic development with maintaining a high quality of life for the current residents and new residents?
Well, Klamath County, if you've not been here, you need to come. It's the world-class outdoor recreation. It's a cornerstone of our community. It's a population that's unparalleled any place I've ever been. We have outdoor activities, including hiking, mountain biking, walking, fishing, paddleboarding, canoeing, kayaking, hunting, cross-country, snowshoeing, skating, bird watching. We are I think the largest flyway migration bird place in the West Coast is Klamath Falls. Right outside my door in my office, there's big bird watching trails. 10 minutes or less commute. You can get any place you want in Klamath in less than 15 minutes. A little bit different than other areas that are coming here. We have a great culture center in Ross Regland, Fable Museum, County Museum. Our city libraries are second to none. Oktoberfest, county fairs. We're the home of the only national park in the state of Oregon, Crater Lake. We're about 40 minutes away from that here in Klamath Falls. But as a group, CASITA, or Klamath County Economic Development Association, we make sure that we're spending time on quality of life projects along with economic development projects. The better the quality of life, the more our recruitments are successful and we're attracting companies to come here. So right now we're working on a Lake Awana wellness program. We're working on a pump bike track here in town, and we're spending considerable times on quality of life issues in regards to trying to develop the community.
We've gone over a lot of the details that we've wanted to touch on. Is there anything else about Klamath Falls' growth potential that you think would resonate with prospective residents?
I probably cut short your last question a little bit. I want to go back to just
Sure.
We spend time, we're working right now on a child care development system, training child care. It was one of the things that we noticed during the pandemic, that people couldn't go to work because there wasn't enough child care available. We're working on that. We're one of the few blue zone communities in the West Coast. We received that initiative several years ago. And housing, we've been working on housing. We developed a spec housing fund to build housing. So we're looking at all those areas to make sure that quality of life, place for people to live and have fun and play are both in Klamath. If we look at, what attracts, I think we covered part of this, but we do have several things in our hopper that will make Klamath Falls a very stable economy. Right now, we have the military switching out from the F-15 to the F-35. That changeover is a significant changeover for our area. We have one of the largest airspaces for our military to train here at Kingsley Field. And there will be between $250 and $500 million invested in that field, getting it ready for the F-35. We have a couple of projects that once they take off, will employ 300 to 800 people for a 5 year period of time, just building the project out. So again, the housing needs will be critical for these projects to be successful. I've already touted that we live in a unbelievable climate with 300 plus days of sunshine a year, with the number one polytechnical school on the West Coast, Oregon Tech University, and then Klamath Community College. So it gives everyone an opportunity to continue to develop, get engaged, get involved, and choose Klamath. And it just truly is better here.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Absolutely.
This has been a great conversation. Thanks for taking the time today and talking to us.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to talk about a community that I hope you give people to visit, because this is the place to be.